I'm Heidi Hewitt, AutoCAD Technical Marketing Manager at Autodesk, here with David Cohn, Consultant and Technical Publishing Manager for 4D Technologies. David, you conducted the AutoCAD Productivity Study last year, and could you describe a little bit of detail about how you chose? You were talking earlier about how you selected drawings, or that you had selected from many drawings.
Right, well I think I went through almost 100 drawings looking for drawings, most of which were things that were in the Autodesk archives, because I needed to have drawings that truly represented real-world work that customers that had been using AutoCAD produced. So, you know, one of the drawings I found in the archives was a reflected ceiling plan of a very complex building with one wing of the building that curved, and I looked at that one and immediately jumped out at me like, this is a great way to illustrate the advantages of the new hatching features in AutoCAD 2011, where you can preview the hatch as you're creating it. So that was one aspect. So I was looking for drawings that, you know, I mentioned before, things that you couldn't create in half an hour. These were drawings that were going to take hours, if not days, to produce, but they were real-world scenarios. Now, you know, because I'm looking at things that, well, they were created in 2008 or earlier, but we're going to look at the tools in 2011 that would make it more productive. We're kind of skewing the results a little bit. I mentioned that earlier. But for the most part, we're sitting there and I'm recreating these drawings. And these are drawings that actual customers created. Probably the toughest task was, you know, one of the things I wanted to do in the study was study conceptual design. So task number 5 in this study was using the massing tools. And then, so in 2008, all we had was massing. In 2011, we've also got surfacing. So using these tools, but from a conceptual design point. Well, conceptual design is a lot more nebulous. You know, it can take the same period of time, days to do, but how do you synthesize that? Because it's not, you know, you're starting to create this production drawing and at the end of so many hours you've got this drawing. Conceptual design, you're trying things, you're doing what ifs.
It's really about the thinking and the designing.
Right, and you know, if I change this, do I like it better? And so what I came up with on the conceptual design study was a script. What I did was I created a pavilion, something that might be, you know, some country's pavilion at a World's Fair. But it's this very schematic design using massing objects, again, in 2008, and then massing and surfaces in 2011. And so the script said, okay, in step 1, we're going to create this first iteration of the building. In step 2, we're going to study different roof lines. In step 3, we're going to do some things with the walls. So it became this iterative process that I then went through in 2008 and then went through in 2011. That was probably the toughest one to come up with because, like I said, we weren't just starting at the beginning and producing a drawing. We were trying to synthesize a design process. Yeah.
So tough, but yet realistic because of that iterative process that you do go through. Yeah.
I wanted to consider that because that's really where the new tools shine on surface design, when you can have surfaces that are associated to curves. So, but a little bit harder to synthesize.
Great. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, going into the detail, and we'll learn more about some of the other
you're welcome.
parts of the study.
I look forward to sharing more of it with you.
Great. Thanks, David.